Hello and welcome back to this Spectred Isle, telling maritime ghost stories from around the islands of the North Atlantic. Today's story is at the request of Jazz for a birthday present, so happy birthday, Jazz. I hope you enjoy this chilling tale from our very favourite Scottish islands, Orkney. The story begins at the Hall of Clestrain, which would later be the home of our favourite Arctic explorer, John Rae, but which in the 18th century was the house of a rather less reputable character. William Honyman was Laird of Grahamsay, very wealthy merchant and trader, but he was also rumoured to be involved in smuggling. It's not clear whether his wife, Mary, was part of these illicit activities, but smuggling could be a family business and was often conducted very close to home, so in this version of the story, she will be in on the secrets. One day, William was about to set off on a trading expedition, but beforehand, he and a servant took a box full of not quite legally obtained treasures out to a lonely stretch of coastline and buried it there. He instructed Mary to keep a close watch on that spot, and she agreed, thinking, but not saying, in case anyone overheard, that if the customs officials decided to search their house at any point, it was probably best to have a bit put away, safeguarded, as it were. William, his son Mungo, and their crew set off, and Mary went about her usual business at the hall, day by day, always keeping one eye on the spot where the treasure lay, just making sure it was still safe. It was months before any news came of the ship, but finally one day a neighbour came to Mary and said that a vessel very like William Honyman's had been seen sailing into Hoy Sound. Excited, Mary and several others rushed to the coastline to watch the vessel approach. The ship drew closer and closer, and she could make out the shapes of her husband William, her son Mungo, and several members of the crew. But as the onlookers waved to welcome the vessel in, it vanished before their eyes. Mary knew at once what must have happened, and when the news came to confirm that the ship had gone down in Pentland Firth and that all souls aboard had been lost, it was no surprise to her. It said that that ship can still be seen, sailing into Hoy Sound, making that return voyage, just as Mary and the others saw, and that Mary herself can still be witnessed to walk that lonely stretch of coastline where the treasure is buried, just making sure that no over-curious souls come too close. I hope you've enjoyed that story. I did take a few liberties with the narrative because the sources I was working with didn't have a ton of details and they'd undergone a few embellishments of their own already. So I've put links to those sources in the show notes below if you want to check them out. One of them actually mentions a second phantom vessel in Orkney, over in Scapa Flow, mentioned in an article by the Orkney folklorist Ernest Marwick. So I highly encourage you to take a look at that one as well. Thank you so much for joining me today, and please do come back for the next one.